Hey guys, Landon here. Hope everyone's doing really well. So today I'm continuing my Clash of Clans tutorial series, and we are doing the video on what troops you guys should upgrade first. So a lot of people have been asking me, so I'm excited to finally get to doing this video, and I hope this helps you guys out. And if you haven't checked out my other Clash of Clans tutorial videos, make sure to. They'll all be in the description down below, and I hope you guys enjoy. So let's get started. So while a lot of people might think upgrading troops is a personal preference, I would have to disagree. I think there is a clear path that you should follow. I mean, at the later stages of the game, there is much more personal preference, but I really do think that kind of knowing what troop to upgrade first and why can help you out by playing the game. Alright, so first off, it's pretty classic. You always want to upgrade the archer first. And before I kind of get into every troop, I want to tell you how I based what troops you guys should upgrade first. So I did 3 criteria. First, how beneficial the troop is to you. 2, how fast and how cheap you can train the troop. And 3, how beneficial it is to other members. So this means for clan wars and for donation troops. So the archer is a very, very cheap troop, takes not too much time to train, it's a ranged unit, and it's the requirement for a lot of clans to join. So if you're going to want to get into a good clan, you're going to need to have a certain level archer. So maybe 4 or 5, and it's the kind of basic donation troop. So archers are extremely important because you can use them for so many different things, and they're an awesome unit to train. And rounding the second is the barbarian. The barbarian's another very cheap troop, and powerful, a lot of hit points, and another really easy, fast one to train. So here you see I cooked up a BAM strategy. And a lot of people don't realize when they're first getting into the game is that Clash of Clans is not only about attacking people and winning and taking trophies, but a lot of the game is about gaining as many resources as possible and while spending as few resources as possible. So as you can see with this army camp, I've spent a very, very minimal amount of elixir and dark elixir, and I hope to gain in a turnaround raid much more. So by training these quick, fast army comps that are cheap, and bringing in a lot of golden elixir, you can speed right through your base and upgrading, which is the most important part of the game. So let's get into a raid, and I'll show you guys kind of how the tier 1 troops work. So when using cheap troops, you're going to want to look for pretty easy bases, and a lot of times you're going to want to find bases with a lot of their resources in the gold mines and the elixir pumps. So you can see 167,000 of each resource, and most of it is probably in the pumps. So this is going to be a very, very easy raid to just kind of collect the loot without spending too many of my own troops. So you really don't have to use all your troops. And I'm not going to win this raid because I don't care about the trophies. I just care about getting as much gold and elixir as possible and really conserving it all to upgrade my base. So I'm just dropping barbarians first around the base, following them up with some archers and some minions as well, and just letting my troops get all of that gold and elixir. So here you see the gold mines are going down, and that's really all the raid I need. I can just end it right here, but since I want to cook up a different army camp for the next battle, we're just going to expend all the troops and try to get a 1-star, which we should be able to pretty easily. The BAM strategy is very strong, and it uses these cheap troops that are fast to train, which makes it an awesome strategy to use, especially if you're new to the game or at a lower level and want to get resources fast. So we're already at 44%. This should be an easy 1-star. But let's see if we can't get a 2-star raid. I don't know. It looks like we should be able to. The wizard tower might be a little bit pesky, but let's try to get to that town hall. Come on. Let's send the minions out. We'll drop a nice little rage spell right here. Try to get the troops. It looks like we should be able to. Let's grab that town hall, guys. Boom, there's the 2-star raid using a very simple comp and getting quite a bit of turnaround. So I spent I spent a very cheap amount of resources on the raid, and I turned around with over 170,000 of each resource. Alright, and now for the next troops to upgrade. Number 3 is the wall breaker. So the wall breaker is so important because for most of the compositions that you're going to be using, especially at the low level, you're going to want to break through some walls, and the wall breaker allows that to happen. They do 40 times amount of damage to walls, and they're just so essential to raids because a lot of the mid-level players likes to use these big giant archer or barbarian combinations, and the last thing you want is for all of your troops to stack together attacking a wall, because then they're likely to be taken out by a wizard tower or a mortar or another splash defense. But the wall breakers allows you to get through the base and do a lot of damage to the insides, stealing a lot of the loot. So wall breakers are my number 3 troop upgrade. Following that, at number 4, is the goblin. The goblin packs a huge punch, and it does some of the most damage at a low level troop. There you can see it does double damage to resources. So that's 48 damage for a level 4 goblin, which is, let's see how much a level archer. A level 5 archer does 20. So the goblin does one level below the archer does considerably over 2 times more than the archer does attacking resources. So the goblin's a great troop because they're fast to train, they're relatively cheap, and they can steal resources very, very quickly. So again, like I said, you're going to want to take as many resources for as few resources. So it's just really a big trade-off. So at mid-low level gameplay, if you want to bring like an army comp like this, I brought a few wall breakers, I'm bringing goblins, and I'm bringing giants. I'm going to drop the giants, the defenses are going to focus on the giants, then I'm going to follow up with some wall breakers, break through some walls, and the goblins are going to go through. Speaking of giants, that brings me to my number 5 upgrade. Giants are great meat shields, and one of the best parts about them is they go for defenses first. So unlike barbarians, which can be used as a meat shield, that barbarians just go for anything. So they can go after random pumps, random collectors, whatever, that kind of throw off the raid. If you really want some precision, you can drop some giants, they go right through your base. Then they're great meat shields for what I'm using with the goblin giant combination. And they're just a really effective meat shield to use at low to mid-level gameplay. Alright, so after the giants, the next troop I think you should upgrade is the balloon. Balloons are extremely powerful, they go after air defenses first, and they're very easy to use. Another nice thing about balloons is at a low to mid-level gameplay, a lot of people really don't worry about their air defenses, so attacking an aerial raid is considerably easier than attacking via the ground. So by using these balloons, you can get a huge advantage attacking bases, and you don't have to use the expensive balloon strategies. There are cheap ways to do it. So if you want to use a barbarian archer balloon strategy, it's very, very simple. You bring barbarians and archers as ways to take out the air defenses and wizard towers, then you just drop probably 15 to 20 balloons, and then most of the times you can get an easy 3-star for any Town Hall 6 or below. So it's a great way to use an easy composition and take out a lot of bases and get a nice turnaround. Alright, so after the balloons, I like to upgrade the dragons. Dragons are extremely effective and they are so powerful. At low levels and even mid-level gameplay, the dragon raid is so strong, and it is favored as the best clan war attack that you can use at that level gameplay. So again, people don't really value their air defenses, so an all-dragon raid or a dragon barbarian archer raid can be extremely effective. So upgrading the dragons is an awesome way to up your attack. The next troop after the dragon, I think, is the wizard. The wizards are a huge craved troop. They do a ton of damage, and people love them. For donating in clan wars, wizards are often the #1 request because they can do splash defenses and ruin somebody's raid. So if you fill your clan troops up with them, then it's going to be much harder for your attacker on your base to get a solid raid because they're going to really have to worry about taking out those wizards. Also, they're super essential for strong raids like the Go Wipe because they do bring the power to that raid. Alright, after the wizard, I like, for my kind of 9th troop to upgrade, now it gets to kind of personal preference. For 9, I like either minions, hog riders, or healers. So even though it's 3 troops, it's still pretty easy to break down. Minions are a very cheap troop. They do cost Dark Elixir, but they are extremely powerful, and they're another aerial unit. Hog riders cost a lot of Dark Elixir, but they are so powerful because, I mean, you can kind of guess from their name, they can hop over walls, and they are so strong because they go after defenses first and ignore all the buildings. So incredibly powerful troop. And healers can be influential to raids when you're bringing a large composition of giants and whatnot, because they can heal your troops and let the raid go through the entire base, destroying it. Alright, after those three, I would upgrade the Witch. The Witch is another highly sought after clan castle troop and clan war troop, because they can spawn skeletons, which totally messes up a raid. When I'm going after a clan war raid, the one troop I do not want to see is the Witch, because they are so strong to go after. Also, the Go Weeby strategy is a very high touted raid in the highest level gameplay. So witches are very important to use. My number 11 is two troops, either the P.E.K.K.A. or the Golem. They're both super important for high level gameplay. Most people are going to use the Golem at the highest level because they are amazing tanks. They're kind of like the Giants, just on some pretty heavy steroids, because they're giant rock and they're hard to kill, and they're pretty cool looking too. So Golems really help your raid, because when the defenses aren't focusing on your power troops like your wizards or your witches or whatnot, they're focusing on the Golems, and your base, your raid is just doing better and better. And P.E.K.K.A.s, when you upgrade them, they gain a lot of health and they gain a lot of power, so they can really get through a nice raid. The most popular high-level gameplay raid right now is the Go Wipe, and that's because the P.E.K.K.A.s are so strong, so that is a very good upgrade. Number 12, I put the Lava Hounds, because although the Lava Hounds are new to the game, they can be used in a Balloonian style raid. I'm not sure the exact army composition, but I think around 2 to 4 Lava Hounds with the Balloonian is a very strong comp. They're kind of like golems for the sky, so the same reasons you should upgrade the normal golems for the ground, the Lava Hounds do the same. Upgrade them for the same reasons. Alright, and finally guys, coming at number 13, they are the Amazonian Queens, the Valkyries. So why did I save the Valkyries all the way to here? Well, even though the Valkyries are powerful, they have an awesome animation, they look cool, upgrading them costs a ton of Dark Elixir, it's hard to come across all of that, and they're just not as useful as the other troops. They can be very useful, and you can use them very well, but overall, there's just bigger priorities to upgrade first. Alright guys, so that wraps up today's tutorial video. I hope you guys enjoyed, and I hope you also learned something. So, make sure to drop a comment down below if you guys agree with my upgrade priorities, and tell me what you guys want to see for the next tutorial video. Alright? I'd really appreciate it if you guys showed this video some love by hitting that like button and subscribing to the channel if you have not already. See you guys next time. Bye-bye.